In the name of Allah, the entirely merciful, the especially merciful. Alif, Lam, Mim.
See Surah Luqman, Ayah 34, for the Tafsir.
This is the revelation of the book, about which there is no doubt, from the Lord of the worlds.
See Surah Luqman, Ayah 34, for the Tafsir.
Or do they say, He invented it? Rather, it is the truth from your Lord, O Muhammad, that you may warn a people to whom no warner has come before you, so perhaps they will be guided.
Commentary. At this place, the word nadhir, warner, and to whom no warner has come means a rasul or messenger. The sense is that no messenger had appeared amidst the Quraysh of Mecca before the Holy Prophet. This does not mean that the call of the messengers had just not reached them until that time, because it was clearly said in another verse of the Quran, and there was no community without a warner having passed among them. Surah Fatir, Ayah 24. In this verse, i.e. the verse Surah Fatir, Ayah 24, the word warner appears in its general lexical sense, that is, one who calls people toward Allah, whether a messenger or prophet or one of their deputies, Khalifa or the alim of din. So, from this verse, it seems that the call of pure monotheism, Tawhid, had reached all communities and groups. That is correct in its place and certainly the dictate of universal divine mercy. Commentator Abu Hayyan says that the call to Tawhid and Iman has never ceased in any time or place or people, and wherever a long time passed after the appearance of a prophet, it resulted in the dearth of those having a knowledge of the legacy of prophethood. Thereupon, some new prophet or messenger was sent. This requires that the call to Tawhid should have reached the Arab peoples definitely and much earlier. But for this it is not necessary that the call should have been brought in by some prophet or messenger in person. It is possible that it may have reached through the learned serving as deputies to the prophetic mission. Therefore, the verses of this surah, Surah Yasin and others which prove that no nadhir, warner, had appeared amidst the Quraysh of Arabia before the Holy Prophet must be approached with the necessary consideration that the word nadhir used there should mean a prophet and messenger in the technical sense, denoting that no prophet and messenger had come amidst those people before the Holy Prophet, even though the call to Tawhid and Iman may have reached there too through other means. Before the period of Fatra, that is, before the appearance of the Holy Prophet, it stands proved about some blessed souls who firmly adhered to the faith of Sayyidina Ibrahim and Ismail. They believed in the oneness of Allah and were averse to the worship of and sacrifices for idols. Roll Ma'ani reports from the Madhazi of Musa ibn Uqba about one such person whose name was Zayd ibn Amr ibn Nufail. He had also met the Holy Prophet before he was ordained as a prophet. But it was still before his prophethood that he died in the year the Quraysh had built the edifice of the Baytullah, and this happened 5 years prior to his prophethood. About him, Musa ibn Uqba says, he used to stop the Quraysh from indulging in the worship of idols. He opposed the offering of sacrifices in the name of idols as an evil practice, and would not eat the meat from animals slaughtered by the mushriks. Abu Dawud Tayalisi has reported from Sayyidina Zayd ibn Zayd ibn Amr, may Allah be pleased with him, the son of Zayd ibn Amr ibn Nufail, one of the celebrated 10 among the noble Sahaba, that he had submitted before the Holy Prophet, saying, "You already know about my father, that he adhered to pure monotheism and rejected idolatry. Can I then pray for his forgiveness?" The Holy Prophet said, "Yes, for him the prayer of forgiveness is permissible. He will, on the day of Qiyamah, rise as a community of his own." Roll Ma'ani. Similarly, Warqa ibn Nawfal, may Allah be pleased with him, who was present during the initial period of the prophethood and the revelation of the Quran, was an adherent of pure monotheism, Tawhid. He had expressed his resolve to help the Holy Prophet, but he died soon after. These examples prove that the people of Arabia were, though not totally deprived of the divine call to faith and monotheism, but that no prophet had appeared amidst them as such. Allah knows best. All 3 verses cited above carry an affirmation of the veracity of the Quran and the Prophet of Islam.
It is Allah who created the heavens and the earth and whatever is between them in 6 days. Then he established himself above the throne. You have not besides him any protector or any intercessor, so will you not be reminded?
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 3 for the Tafsir.
He arranges each matter from the heaven to the earth, then it will ascend to him in a day, the extent of which is 1,000 years of those which you count.
See Surah As As-Sajdah, Ayah 3 for the Tafsir.
That is the knower of the unseen and the witnessed, the exalted in might, the merciful.
Commentary. The length of the day of Qiyamah. The text in verse Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 5 cited above says, "In a day the measure of which is 1,000 years according to the way you count." And it appears in a verse of Surah Al-Ma'arij, "In a day the extent of which is 50,000 years." Surah Al-Ma'arij, Ayah 4. A simple explanation of this is what appears in day in the Quran, since this day will be horrendous. People will find it very long. Then this length will be felt in terms of one's measure of faith and deeds. Big criminals will find the day longer, while the small ones will find it comparatively shorter. So much so that the day some would feel to be of 1,000 years, to others it would appear as of 50,000 years. Tafsir Rol Ma'ani reports several other explanations from the Lama and Sufia. But all these are nothing but conjectures, something which can be traced back to a proved meaning of the Quran, or something which can be believed in is just not there. Therefore, the most sound approach in this matter is the same as was taken by the early elders of Islam, the Sahaba and the Tabi'in. They had left the knowledge of this difference of 150 to Allah without explaining it on the basis of human whims, and on their part, they had found it sufficient to say, "We do not know." About it, Sayyidina Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said, "There are 2 days mentioned by Allah Ta'ala in His book. Allah Ta'ala knows best about them, and I dislike to say in the matter of the book of Allah that which I do not know."
Who perfected everything which He created, and began the creation of man from clay.
Everything is good in this world. Evil comes through its wrong use. In verse Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 7, it was said, "Who made well whatever He created good." The reason is that Allah Ta'ala has made whatever He has created in this world under the dictate of His wisdom, and under the essential consideration of what is beneficial for the whole system. Therefore everything has a beauty of its own. And the most beautiful and better than all is the making of man, as it was said, "Surely we did create man in the best of symmetry." Surah 10, Ayah 4. Then there are creations other than man that may outwardly be taken as bad. In fact, dogs, pigs, snakes, scorpions, and wolves are commonly considered bad because they are either poisonous or beastly. But in terms of the expedient benefits of the world as a whole, none of these is really bad. A proverbial poetic observation in Urdu puts it as, "There is nothing useless in the world. There is no one bad in the workshop of nature." The author of Bayan-ul-Quran has said, "The text, whatever, includes all substances and accidents, that is, also things which have corporeal substance, such as animals, plants, and minerals, etc., as well as incorporeal things which include even morals and deeds. So much so that morals which are identified as bad, anger, greed, desire, and their likes, are not bad in themselves. The bad about them emerges when they are used out of place. If they stay in their proper place, there is nothing bad in them. But the sense being driven home here relates to the objective of their creation, taqwan, an introduction of these things, for that is nothing but good according to divine wisdom. However, the qualities of good and bad are attached to them in relation to the human acts and their effects on individuals. We can call it one's right or choice employed in doing something. Then, in those terms, everything is not good. In fact, it is circumscribed by a little detail. That is, whatever has not been allowed by Allah Ta'ala is not good, but is rather bad. Allah knows best. The sentence that follows next reads, "And started the creation of man from clay." Earlier, it was said that Allah Ta'ala has made everything good in this world. Mentioned thereafter was man, the most beautiful of all. Then, to give expression to His most perfect power alongside, it was also said that the making of man as the most superior form of creation was not because the essential ingredient of his creation was most noble, elegant, and superior, which may have made it so. In fact, as for the essential ingredient that went into his making, it was something as mean and lowly as the semen. Thereafter, the rest was a masterpiece of His perfect power and profound wisdom. It was this great combination that took something so low to such a height that man was rated as the most noble divine creation.
Then He made His posterity out of the extract of a liquid disdained.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 7 for the Tafsir.
Then He proportioned him and breathed into him from His created soul, and made for you hearing and vision and hearts. Little are you grateful.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 7 for the Tafsir.
And they say, when we are lost within the earth, Will we indeed be recreated in a new creation? Rather they are, in the matter of the meeting with their Lord, disbelievers.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 7, for the Tafsir.
Say, the angel of death will take you, who has been entrusted with you. Then to your Lord you will be returned.
Commentary. In verse Surah As-Sajdah, Ayat 11, it was said, Say, the angel of death who has been assigned for you will take you in full. In the verse previous to it, the deniers of the Qiyamah were warned, and an answer was given to their wondering as to how would they be brought back to life once again after they had died and become dust. In the verse cited above, such people are being reminded, think of your death, which is, in itself, a great manifestation of the perfect power of Allah Ta'ala. Your heedlessness and ignorance make you think that one's death comes all by itself, just like that. This is not how it is. In fact, fixed for your death, there is a time with Allah, and for this there is a standing system run through angels. Sayyidina Israel is the foremost among them, the one who is the master manager of death throughout the world. Whenever and wherever a person is destined to die, it is precisely at that time that he draws out his soul from his body. This is what has been stated in the cited verse. It should be noted that Malakul Maut, angel of death, has been mentioned in the singular form. It means Sayyidina Israel. Please compare it with another verse where it is said, the ones to whom the angels brought death, Surah An-Nahl, Ayah 28. Here the word Malaika, angels, has been used in the plural form. This releases the hint that Sayyidina Israel does not do this alone. Many angels under him take part in accomplishing this duty. Some details about the exacting of soul and the angel of death. Tafsir authority Mujahid has said, before the angel of death, the whole world is very much like an open tray before a human being sprinkled in which there are grains, and he picks up whichever he wants. The same subject has also appeared in a Hadith that is traceable to the Holy Prophet. As mentioned by Al-Qurtubi in At-Tadhkirah, according to a hadith, once the Holy Prophet saw the angel of death standing behind the head of an Ansari Sahabi on his deathbed. He said, Make it easy on my Sahabi. The angel of death said, Rest assured. I make it easy on every believer. Then he added, Just imagine the number of people living in towns or villages, and in forests, mountains or waters. I see every one of them 5 times a day, therefore I am directly acquainted with every one of them, young or old. Then he concluded by saying, O Muhammad all this I am telling you about is nothing but what happens with the will and command of Allah. Otherwise, if I wanted to take the life of even a mosquito, I do not have the power to do so unless there comes the very command of Allah Ta'ala that I have to do it. The soul of animals, does the angel of death exact that too? From the hadith report mentioned above, it seems that it is the angel of death who, subject to divine permission, exacts the soul of a mosquito too. Imam Malik, may Allah have mercy on him, has also said this while answering a question. But some other reports show that this exacting of the soul is particular to human beings because of their nobility and distinction. As for the animals, they will die under divine law without the medium of the angel. Mentioned by Ibn Atiyah from Al-Qurtubi, the same subject has been reported by Abu Ash-Shaykh, Ukili, Dilemi and others on the authority of Ibn Anas narrating it from the Holy Prophet. According to this report, the Holy Prophet said, All animals and insects keep glorifying Allah, for this is their life. When this glorification stops, Allah Ta'ala takes their soul. The death of animals has not been entrusted with the angel of death. Another related hadith has been reported from Ibn Ibn Umar, may Allah be pleased with him. Majari, it appears in yet another hadith, when Allah Ta'ala handed over to Sayyidina Israel the charge of managing the death of everyone in the world, he pleaded, O my Lord, you have put such a service in my charge that the entire race of the children of Adam living in the world is going to give me a bad name to the extent that every time I am remembered, I shall be dubbed as evil. Allah Ta'ala would say, We have taken care of that by placing some obvious diseases and causes of death in the world due to which everyone will attribute death to these diseases and causes, and you will remain safe from their adverse comments. Al-Qurtubi in his Tafsir and Al-Tadhkirah, and Imam al-Badawi reports on the authority of Sayyidina Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, that the Holy Prophet said, All diseases and things like pain and wound are the universal message, bearers of death. They remind every human being of his or her death. After that, when comes the time of death, the angel of death turns towards the dying person and says, O servant of God, how many notices have I served on you, and how many message bearers have I sent to you one after the other? All these diseases and accidents delivered at your doors were simply to warn you that you should get ready for death. Now, here I am after whom no bearer of some message will come to you any more. Now you have got to say yes to the order of your Lord necessarily, whether willingly or unwillingly. Majority ruling. The angel of death does not know the time of anyone's death in advance until he is ordered to exact the soul of a certain person. Deduced by Omad and Ibn Abi ad-Dunya from Mamre, Majari.
If you could but see when the criminals are hanging their heads before their Lord, saying, Our Lord, we have seen and heard, so return us to the world. We will work righteousness. Indeed, we are now certain.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 11 for the Tafsir.
And if we had willed, we could have given every soul its guidance. But the word from me will come into effect that I will surely fill hell with jinn and people all together.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 11 for the Tafsir.
So taste punishment because you forgot the meeting of this, your day. Indeed, we have accordingly forgotten you. And taste the punishment of eternity for what you used to do.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 11 for the Tafsir.
Only those believe in our verses who, when they are reminded by them, fall down in prostration and exalt Allah with praise of their Lord, and they are not arrogant.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 11 for the Tafsir.
They arise from their beds, they supplicate their Lord in fear and aspiration, and from what we have provided them, they spend.
Before approaching verse Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 16. Their sides remain apart from their beds. They call their Lord with fear and hope. It should be borne in mind that disbelievers, mushriks and the deniers of the day of Qiyamah were warned in the verses previous to it. After that, starting from, only those people believe in our verse Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 15, mentioned there are special attributes of sincere believers and the high ranks reserved for them. Pointed to in the cited verse is one such attribute of these believers: they leave the comfort of their beds, rise and get busy with the remembrance of Allah in submission and supplication because they are apprehensive of His displeasure and punishment while remaining hopeful of His mercy and reward. This very combination of fear and hope keeps them returning to dhikr and repeatedly, anxiously and animated at the same time. The Salah of Tahajjud. The majority of commentators takes the expression denoting the leaving of beds and getting busy with dhikr and to mean the Salah of Tahajjud and Nawafil that are offered after rising from sleep, which is the saying of Al-Hasan, Mujahid, Malik and Al-Awza'i, and it is supported by narrations of hadith as well. According to a report in the Musnad of Ahmad at-Tirmidhi and Nasi and others, Sayyidina Mu'adh ibn Jabal narrates, once I was in the company of the Holy Prophet on a journey. One morning during the course of the journey when I was near him, I requested, Why Rasulullah, tell me to do something which helps me enter paradise and keeps me away from hell. He said, You ask for something very difficult, but for whomsoever Allah Ta'ala makes it easy, for him it becomes easy. Then he said, This is what you should do: worship Allah and associate no one with Him, and establish Salah, and pay Zakah, and keep the fast of Ramadan, and perform the Hajj of Baytullah. And then he said, Here, now let me tell you about the gateways of righteousness. Fasting as a shield that saves you from punishment. Sadaqah puts off the fire of one sin, so does one Salah in the middle of the night. And after having said that, he recited the cited verse of the Holy Qur'an. Their sides remain apart from their beds. Sayyidina Abu ad-Barda, Qatada and Dahak, may Allah be pleased with him, have said that this attribute of sides remaining apart from beds also applies to those who make their Salah of Isha with Jama'ah and then go on to make their Salah of Fajr with Jama'ah. And according to a narration of Sayyidina Anas, may Allah be pleased with him, appearing in Tirmidhi, he with sound chains of authority, this verse, their sides remain apart, was revealed about people who do not sleep before the Salah of Isha and keep waiting for the Jama'ah of Isha. And according to some other reports, this verse is about people who offer Nawafil between Maghrib and Isha, reported by Muhammad ibn Nasr. And about this verse, Sayyidina Ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with him, said, People who would, on waking up, remember Allah lying, sitting and on sides are also included therein. Ibn Kathir and other Tafsir authorities have said that there is no contradiction in all these sayings. It is correct to say that this verse is inclusive of all, while the late night Salah remains the superior most. Al-Qur'an has also opted for this approach, and Sayyid Asma bint Yazid, may Allah be pleased with him, narrates, the Holy Prophet said, when Allah Ta'ala will gather everyone from the first to the last, a proclaimer, whose call will be heard by the entire creation, will call. This day everyone on the plains of resurrection will find out as to who is really deserving of honor and compliment. Then the proclaiming angel will proclaim, O people assembled on the plains of resurrection, let those rise from among you, those whose attribute was, their sides remain apart from their beds. At this call these people will stand up, though their number will be small. Ibn Kathir and some words of the same narration say that these people will be sent to paradise without reckoning. After that, all others will stand and face reckoning. Majari.
And no soul knows what has been hidden for them of comfort for satisfaction as reward for what they used to do.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 16 for the Tafsir.
Then is one who was a believer like one who was defiantly disobedient? They are not equal.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 16 for the Tafsir.
As for those who believed and did righteous deeds, for them will be the gardens of refuge as accommodation for what they used to do.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 16 for the Tafsir.
But as for those who defiantly disobeyed, their refuge is the fire. Every time they wish to emerge from it, they will be returned to it, while it is said to them, taste the punishment of the fire which you used to deny.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 16 for the Tafsir.
And we will surely let them taste the nearer punishment, short of the greater punishment, that perhaps they will repent.
In verse Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 21, and we will certainly make them taste the nearer punishment before the greater punishment, so that they may return. The word na has been used in the sense of near, and al-habul na denotes diseases, sufferings, and calamities of the world that are made to befall a lot of people by Allah Ta'ala in order to warn them against their sins. The purpose is to chasten and alert them enough so that they leave off their sins and thus earn their deliverance from the great punishment of the hereafter. Hence, this verse seems to tell us that all these sufferings, accidents, diseases, and pains that inflict sinners in the world are nothing but a sort of mercy for them, inasmuch as they help them get out of their heedlessness and save themselves from the punishment of the hereafter. However, for people who take no lesson even from such unwelcome happenings and fail to turn to Allah for them, this punishment becomes twofold. First, the cash punishment right here in this world, and then the other being the great punishment of the hereafter. As for the hardships of many kinds that come upon prophets and men of Allah, that is a separate matter. These hardships are a trial for them, and trials are the source through which their ranks are raised. That is the hallmark of this trial. How do you recognize the quality of the response? If one were to observe such people even under the stress of calamities and hardships, it will be noticed that they have a kind of peace and tranquility emanating from their trust in Allah Ta'ala, and it is Allah who knows best.
And who is more unjust than one who is reminded of the verses of his Lord, then he turns away from them? Indeed, we, from the criminals, will take retribution.
There are some crimes the punishment of which comes even within the mortal world much before the hereafter. The last sentence of the set of verses cited above reads, we have to take vengeance upon the sinners. Obviously, the word al-mujrimin, the criminals, includes all kinds of criminals. Then the word intiqam, revenge, retribution, return, is also general. It may be in the mortal world or in the hereafter or in both. But from some hadith accounts it appears that there are three sins the punishment of which is experienced before the hereafter right here in this world too. They are to strive against what is right and true publicly with flags and slogans, to disobey parents, to help someone unjust or oppressive. Reported by Ibn Jarir from Say, Ibn Ahmad ibn Jabal, may Allah be pleased with him.
And we certainly gave Moses the scripture, so do not be in doubt over his meeting. And we made the Torah guidance for the children of Israel.
Commentary. The word lika in the first verse Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 23 cited above, so do not be in doubt about receiving it, means meeting. Whose meeting with whom? In determining it precisely in the verse, the sayings of commentators differ. According to one of these, the pronoun in Ligahi has been taken to be reverting to Al-Hitib, the book, that is, the Quran, which releases the sense that the way Allah Ta'ala gave the book to Sayyid ibn Musa, you too should entertain no doubt about receiving your book. This is supported by similar words used about the Quran in another verse. And indeed you, O Muhammad, do receive the Quran. Surah An-Naml, Ayah 6. Bayn al-Quran, Kulas Tafsir. On the other hand, its tafsir from Sayyid ibn Abbas and Qatada, may Allah be pleased with him, has been reported as follows. The pronoun in Likihi, read as meeting him, reverts to Sayyid ibn Musa, and given in this verse is the news that the Holy Prophet will be meeting Sayyid ibn Musa, and it has been said that he should have no doubt in the eventuality of his meeting with Sayyid ibn Musa. Accordingly, a meeting in the night of al-Miraj, the ascent to the heavens, stands proved on the authority of Sahih Ahadith. Then also proved is the meeting on the day of Qiyamah. And Hassan al-Basri, may Allah have mercy on him, explains it by saying, the way Sayyidina Musa was given a book, then people belied and harassed him. The Prophet of Islam too should anticipate that he will have to face similar treatment at the hands of his people. Therefore, he should not grieve over the pains inflicted by disbelievers. In fact, he should take that as the blessed practice of prophets and endure.
And we made from among them leaders, guiding by our command when they were patient and when they were certain of our signs.
2 conditions for the leader of any people. In the next verse, Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 24, it was said, and we appointed leaders from among them who guided people under our command when they observed patience and kept firm belief in our verses. In this verse, 2 reasons have been given as to why religious leadership was bestowed on some of the sages of Bani Israel: observance of patience and the certitude of divine words. In terms of the Arabic usage, the sense of doing sabr or patience is very wide in general. Literally, it means to tie or to be firm. At this place, sabr means to stay firm on the implementation of divine injunctions and to hold one's desiring self in check against the infringement of what Allah Ta'ala has declared to be karam, unlawful, or makruh, reprehensible. This covers one's obedience to all injunctions of the Sharia, which is perfection at its best. The second reason lies in their certitude. They are certain of the divine words. This includes the initial understanding of the sense of the verses, as well as the resulting certitude which emerges from such comprehension both. This is intellectual perfection at its best. In short, in the sight of Allah Ta'ala, only those who are perfect both in ilm knowledge and amal practice are worthy of religious leadership. It is interesting here that perfection in practice has been made to precede perfection in knowledge, while usually ilm knowledge precedes amal practice. This arrangement releases a strong hint, that is, a knowledge which has no corresponding practice with it is just not credible in the sight of Allah. Ibn Kathir has reported the following saying of some ulama in his tafsir of this verse: one can arrive at the station of leadership in religion only through sabr, patience, and yaqin, certitude.
Indeed, your Lord will judge between them on the day of resurrection, concerning that over which they used to differ.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 24 for the tafsir.
Has it not become clear to them how many generations we destroyed before them as they walk among their dwellings? Indeed, in that are signs. Then do they not hear?
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 24 for the tafsir.
Have they not seen that we drive the water in clouds to barren land, and bring forth thereby crops from which their livestock eat, and they themselves? Then do they not see?
The word al-jura is in verse Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 27. Have they not seen that we drive water to the dry land? Then we bring forth crops, thereby means barren land where trees do not grow. A wise system of irrigation. Usually the Quran mentions the irrigating of dry lands and the growing of crops therein by saying that the land receives rain and becomes moist and growth-worthy. But there is no mention of rain in this verse. Instead of that, it has been said that water itself is directed to move the ground towards the dry land and thereby bring forth the growth of trees. In other words, the rain is made to fall on some other land, and it is from there that water is directed to move in the form of carrier channels on the ground all the way to the dry land that receives no rain. There is a hint embedded here. Some lands are so soft that they cannot withstand rains. If regular rains were made to fall there, buildings may collapse or trees may be uprooted. Therefore, nature has made its own arrangements for such lands. As for the rain itself, it is sent on a land which is capable of holding it. After that, water is made to flow from here all the way to such lands which cannot withstand rains like the land of Egypt. And there are commentators who have pointed out to some lands of Yemen and Syria as being referred to in this verse, as reported from Ibn Abbas and Al-Hasan. And as for the correct position, this subject includes all such lands, with the inclusion of the land of Egypt known for scanty rains particularly. But water from the rains in the Abyssinian territory of Africa comes into Egypt through the Nile, bringing with it particles of the indigenous red soil, which is good for the growth of crops. Therefore, the people of Egypt, despite that they have no rains in their country, do benefit by a supply of new water and soil every year. So glorious is Allah, the best of creators. Surah Al-Mu'minun, Ayah 14.
And they say, when will be this conquest, if you should be truthful?
Verse Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 28 carries a question posed by disbelievers, and they say, when will this decision take place? Here they are referring to the victory of believers against disbelievers as promised by the Holy Prophet, and are wondering about it since they see no traces of this likelihood anywhere around. Instead, they see Muslims as a group of people scared, hiding.
Say, O Muhammad, on the day of conquest, the belief of those who had disbelieved will not benefit them, nor will they be reprieved.
To answer that, Allah Ta'ala said, say, on the day of decision their belief will not be of any use to disbelievers. This amounts to saying, why are you asking us about the day of our victory, while that day is going to be a day of trouble for you? When victory comes to us, you would have already been overtaken by punishment. Maybe right here in this world, as it happened in the Battle of Badr, or in the hereafter. And when the punishment of Allah seizes someone, then no profession of faith at that time, no declaration of a man at that stage is accepted. As mentioned by Ibn Kathir, there are some others who have interpreted the day in, when will this decision take place, as the day of Qiyamah. The summarized explanation of this verse in the Al-Quran appearing in the original edition of Maarif-ul-Qur'an is based on this tafsir. The translation of Allah as decision as given in the text admits both probabilities.
So turn away from them and wait. Indeed, they are waiting.
See Surah As-Sajdah, Ayah 29 for the tafsir.